Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gym Rats. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, and I'm joined by the illustrious, the beautiful man to my right is Chase Sessoms, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklawn. And of course, below us, the main brain with the largest vein this side of Maine. It is Eric, a.k.a. Etoff21 Sports, a.k.a. Uncle Rico. Whoa. What up, boys? How we doing this beautiful college basketball Saturday? Super Bowl Saturday, like getting ready for the Super Bowl tomorrow. How we feeling? How we doing?
Feeling good. Managed to make the show today. Had a little excitement earlier, but I'm here.
We got 2 comments already. Let's make some money. That is not me in the background. I do wear those shorts a lot, but it's usually for work. And also, I don't know if I have the dexterity to be able to dribble through my legs like that.
Also, you can see the top half of him. How can you possibly think that bottom half
also true
is his?
True. Bobby Thomas, MSU big today. Big.
Huge.
All right, boys. Let's get right into it. I'm just going to start us off at 11. Chase and me both have plays at this time. And I'm taking Iowa State minus 15 versus TCU. I've seen the line move up to 16. I think this is a get-right spot for Iowa State after kind of falling against some decent competition. I don't think TCU has what it takes. I don't think they have what it takes. I like Iowa State here to get it done. Sports Facts, Chase, did you just have your first sig?
No. I'm on the herbal remedies today.
Yeah, Chase is flying high, baby.
Yeah, baby.
You also have a play at 11, it seems.
Yes, South Carolina at Kentucky. Listen, this Kentucky program is in absolute shambles since they lost to the far superior Arkansas Razorbacks. I believe they lost their next game also. I know it's a get-right spot, but this line keeps moving towards the Gamecocks. It was at 12.5 when it opened. It's down to 11. I'm going to jump on the Gamecock train and say they cover this 11. I might even sprinkle on the money line because Kentucky is in shambles.
I thought about it. This is one caught my eye, and then I just decided to stay away on this one.
The funny thing is if you look at their splits, they're exactly the same as they were last year. Kentucky is exactly the same. Not exactly, which is crazy.
Well, maybe Cal wasn't the problem.
I don't think Cal's the problem at all.
Eric and me are both blasting at noon. Eric, why don't you start us off?
All right, first bet, I got the Hoosiers plus 3.5. We got some historical ATS trends against ranked teams. Over the last 20 years, teams ranked between 10 and 25 in the polls in conference play only cover 47% of the time on the road when they are a favorite. When they are home favorites the last 6 years, that dips down to 43.6%. Big Ten Conference road favorites the last 20 years, 47%. Last 3 years, that dips down to 39.4%. The big news is obviously Indiana announced Woodson was leaving. Is this going to motivate these players with Woodson on his way out? Michigan relies heavily on their starting 2 7-footers. Indiana actually has the size to match Michigan's interior. Indiana 62 adjusted offensive efficiency, 60th defensive efficiency. Plus, they do create turnovers, and Michigan is very sloppy with the ball. When we look at the regression, I just look at this spot for Michigan in a letdown spot. They're coming off of wins over Penn State, Rutgers, and Oregon. Their next game is against Purdue. I just think this is a great situational spot to fade Michigan as they have a look ahead against Indiana, as they have a look ahead against Purdue, excuse me.
I am also taking Indiana, and I just took them straight up on the money line. It's 2 things that Eric mentioned were the big key factor for me. The situational spot what Michigan's coming from, what they have going forward, the slump Indiana's been on, and interim head coach bump. I always love playing it. I got to play it here. So I took the Hoosiers just straight up. I only did the money line. I don't play scared.
I have the money line maybe a little bit later.
Oh, I like it. My other play is Ohio. Miami of Ohio. Money line versus Troy. I kind of, going through the whole slate today, I kind of factored and looked back at the teams that I took. All these MAC versus Sunbelt matchups, I think I took almost every MAC team, especially being at home. I think these two teams, this game for me was just pure line movement. Opened up as a pick, then it got up to Troy -1.5. I think these teams are almost evenly matched. Give me the home dog plus 107 on the money line for the Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio.
I got one more. Give me Iowa. I took them at +6 and +215. Again, fading Wisconsin, the situational spot. 2-game winning streak with a tough back-to-back against Purdue and Indiana on deck. Potential letdown spot. Obviously, the historical trends and the Big Ten trends that I mentioned before. I'm not going to repeat those, but Fran, home dog, 56% ATS. Iowa leads the Big Ten in scoring, 85.5 points per game, 51% from the floor, 39 from 3, 22nd in offensive efficiency. This isn't your typical Wisconsin team. This defense is brutal. They give up a lot of looks. I think Iowa's going to be able to make some shots. Wisconsin's last 2 opponents shot 32%, and Wisconsin, which is shooting 30 at minimum 33s a game, has shot 41% the last 2 games from deep. I think we're going to see some more scratch, and I think Wisconsin's going to come back. And given the way Iowa spaces the floor and everything, I think we're going to see some positive shooting regression for Iowa. So I'm going to take Iowa here plus the 6 and plus 215.
Love it. I think we all have plays at 1. Chase, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, you have the Kansas Jayhawks heading to take on the Kansas State Wildcats in the battle for the Sunflower State. And I'm not sure if people remember this. Like, the term, it was a shooting war. Well, this was a chair throwing war.
I love that game.
The folding chairs were thrown during one of these matchups. And I really think that this is kind of not your dad's Kansas team. I'm not really impressed with them. It's a rivalry game. They're on the road. Go ahead and give me Kansas State on the money line.
I also have a bet in that game. I'm on the same exact thing. Give me Kansas State here, plus 4.5. Willie Tang, an impressive 78% ATS as a home dog, including 2 straight-up wins against Kansas. Kansas State on a 4-game winning streak, including wins over West Virginia and Iowa State. They have covered in 8 of their last 10 games. Kansas State holds a 7-3 record at home this season. Jayhawks, just not a typical Bill Self team. 3-4 this year ATS on the season. 11-11 ATS this year. When we look at the first matchup, Kansas State dug themselves a hole as 15-point underdogs. They're down double digits early, but they won the turnover battle, shot 81% attacking the rim, and struggled from behind the arc. If they're just able to make some threes, that would have been a lot closer game. When we look at Kansas, they rank 345th nationally in defensive spacing per shot quality. So if you have a team that can make some threes, which I think Kansas State's going to be able to do, I think they're in for some trouble. Opponents have only shot 27% from 3 in Big 12 play. When we look at shot quality, that should be 35%. So what does that mean? Positive shooting regression. Also, Kansas really struggles on backdoor cuts. That's a strength of the Kansas State offense. And let's fade the Jayhawks after the Iowa State win. Give me K-State plus the 4.5.
Love it. My first play at this time, I'm just going to give you 2 back-to-back because they're basically for the same reason. I'm taking Kent State moneyline versus Arkansas State, and I'm taking Toledo moneyline versus JMU. These are all just line movements. These are pure line movements. They're all opening as pick'ems, and I'm getting to take a home dog.
Let's make some money. It says, can I bet how many times Eric says situational spot, letdown spot, shooting regression, and margin? I was actually thinking that positive shooting regression would be like, if we did bingo cards, it would be like the free square in the middle.
That one
it's
would
just
be.
like a.
But I mean, like,
you know,
we should think of some for the football season next year. See if you can get like a little bingo card going.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Eric, why don't you give your other 1 o'clock play, and then I'll give you my last one.
I got UCF, and I'm going to say it. Letdown spot for Baylor. Just face Texas Tech and Kansas. They have Houston on deck. Bounce back spot for UCF after they had that bad loss, double digits against Cincinnati. When we look at UCF, what do they like to do? They like to get out and run. Baylor, one of the worst teams defending fast break. UCF shot 13 for 48 from 3 over their last 2 games. With the way Baylor plays defense, what do? They lead a lot of people open for 3, so this is going to be a positive shooting regression bounce back spot. Obviously, some injury concerns for Baylor. Edgequam, who's their best player, going to be a top 3 pick. We don't know if he's going to go. He hurt himself in the Kansas game, didn't play against Texas Tech. Is he going to go this game against UCF? UCF's been strong this year on the road, 4-1 in away games this season. Baylor, when we look at their last 8 games, is 2-5-1 ATS. And I like getting points with this UCF team because they can fill it up. They're averaging 80 points per game, 15th per KenPom in pace. Baylor's defense, this isn't a typical Baylor defense. It is down. They have no depth. And when you factor in, they're going to potentially be without Edgequam, who is their best player. I love it. And they turn the ball over a lot. UCF forces 14 turnovers a game. I think that's going to lead to some more fast break points. So give me UCF Knights plus 10.5.
Dig it. I dig it. My last 1 o'clock play is Eastern Michigan ODU under 142.5. I had to get some of this Eastern Michigan team on my slate. I had to. I think they're gonna. Call me stupid. I don't know. I was gonna go dabble in the first half here, and then I saw the first half total was like 64, 67, somewhere around there, and then 142.5 just felt a little high for me. I don't think it's going to be that like quick of a scoring first half, and I don't think it's going to be a great second half. So I took the under 142.5. Sports Back Jim, did you put the call to EMU log? I did. I made the call.
Yeah. He's just perpetually Skyped in. Like there's just a big monitor with Jim's head in the locker room giving them betting instructions.
They're ready. Chase, I believe you and me are holding down at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I've got 2 games at 3 o'clock. You want me to blow through both of them here?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So it's a big number. They're on the road. Previous years, this is about the time of year where I fall in love with the Houston Cougars as a basketball team, and I'm here to tell you this year is absolutely no fucking different. But this Houston team covers big numbers. That's what they do. I want to say like 9 of their last 11, something like that. I'll have to double check and make sure that's right. But at a pretty high rate, they're covering these double-digit spreads. It's a pretty lowly Buffaloes team. I could see Houston just running them out the gym. So I'm going to take a swing with the big number, the minus 15.
I like it.
And I forgot I said I was going to rattle them off back to back. All right. Florida and Auburn. The unders taker is going to be an overs taker. Over 157.5. These teams score a bunch of buckets. So that's my 2 at 3. Sorry, Jim.
My 2 at 3. I'm taking Towson minus 3.5 versus Monmouth. The line just doesn't seem right to me. It opened at 5. I think the correct number's closer to like 4.5. So 3.5. I'm going to take Towson here. And then I'm also taking Penn State plus 11 versus UCLA. Huge look ahead spot for UCLA with Iowa State coming up. And as bad as Penn State's been just straight up in the Big Ten, haven't been that bad ATS. They've been a plucky team, and I think they keep it close here against the Bruins. I thought about sprinkling on the money line. Overall, just stayed away. Took the 11 with the Nittany Lions here. Next up, I think it's just me. I'm sitting alone at 4 o'clock. I had to add times to Eric's spreadsheet.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, dude.
I'm taking Cal plus 2.5 and on the money line versus Wake Forest. I just don't see Wake Forest, I think, is not that great of a team. They're all right. They're I just don't see them not splitting their trip out west. Already beat Stanford. I think they fall to Cal here. I just can't see it. And then at 5 o'clock, me and Chase are rolling. Chase, what do you got at 5?
I'm going to go with the home dog Gophs. Minnesota +7 against the Fighting Illini. I think Minnesota's going to be tough at home. It was also a vibe bet, very much a vibe bet.
Also potentially a look-ahead spot for them as they get UCLA coming up.
There we go.
My 5 o'clock, I'm taking BYU straight up versus Cincinnati. Again, this is the theme of the episode for me is line movement. BYU opened as a 1.5 favorite. Now since he's a 2-point favorite, I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go crazy.
Where's this game at? Where's this game at?
This game is in Cincinnati, I believe.
Oh, dude, Baylor.
I know.
Not Baylor. BYU should roll.
Yeah. Jim betting Cal because of the sub shop every time. Every time I bet Cal, it's because of the sub shop.
Yeah,
you should know this.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of it, quite honestly.
At 6 o'clock, I got one game. I got Cal State Northridge -11 versus Long Beach State. Long Beach State is a get-right program for these teams, and they're just an auto fade for me. And CSUN is playing some really good ball. I'm really rooting for them. I'm rooting for the Matadors to make the tournament, honestly. I hope they do it.
Okay. If anyone knows West Coast Conference basketball, it is
I lived right next to Cal State.
Yeah.
I live right next to Northridge. I've been to a couple. They're fun. They're a good team.
Yeah, man. It's a popular conference.
Eric, 8 o'clock, baby.
I'm going to Loyola Marymount. And who do they play? They play the Dons of San Francisco, who are coming off a very impressive win just last Thursday against St. Mary's. So a letdown spot for the Dons. Road struggles for UCF. They have lost 3 of their last 4 road games. San Francisco's opponents, their last 3 from deep, have shot a robust 11 for 66. That's 17%. Okay? That's 17%. When we look at LMU, they obviously play a lot better at home, 10-3 this season. They have won 7 consecutive first halves at home, so I expect them to get off to a great start here. When we look at Carwin and Parker, those are the top 2 guys. I don't think the Dons are going to be able to stop them. They're averaging 70 points per game. I think this is going to create some struggles for the San Francisco defense. And when we look at the Dons this season, they've just really been inconsistent, only 11-12 against the number. I think this is just a good spot to fade them, so I'll take Loyola Marymount +3.5.
And my last bet of the evening, Cal Irvine, moneyline versus UC San Diego. This was a vibe one for same as Chase has been betting. This is vibes. I think Irvine's better than San Diego.
I would love for Cal Irvine to get in, be that little,
shake it up a little,
be that play like UConn first round, like a team like that. I would absolutely love it. I think they could be a little dangerous of a team to make a little bit of a run.
You boys got some round robins?
I've got a late edition here.
Oh,
at 7:30. I might be betting on the wrong side of letdown spots, but damn it, those fighting Razorbacks from the University of Arkansas have won. They won against Kentucky. They just put up another win at against Texas. I'm going to say they pull off the big upset against number 3 Alabama. We've been playing Alabama close the last few years. I know it's a different team, different coach, but still, they're coming into Bud Walton. Place is going to be rocking after those last 2 wins. Give me Arkansas +170 on the money line.
You know what, Chase? Why not? Why not the Razorbacks?
Why not? Why not us? We may never lose again.
I think it's important, though, that when we look at these teams, and we're kind of seeing it with Kansas State, when they have all these a huge roster flip, you know what I mean? This is a type of year when they're going to start putting it together. And when you look at how much that roster flip and then Boogie goes down, who had been their best player, you know, I can see it. I mean, Arkansas could be a team that can piece some stuff together, sneak in the tournament, you know, win a couple rounds, because they do. When you just kind of sit back and look at the talent level they have it. They have Davis, who has led a team to the Final Four before, and Cal, who, you know, resume-wise is pretty effing good.
I'll start us off with the round robins, boys.
Go ahead.
I'm taking Indiana, Iowa, Drexel, K-State, Cal, and BYU all straight up. Split it two ways. The one way is 185 to 1. Sorry, 180 to 1. That's how I love it.
All right, so this is mine. I went with Indiana, Iowa, Loyola Marymount, and K-State all on the money line. I didn't put on my big boy pants, and I did not include UCF.
That's fine. It's fine. What are you rocking with, Chase?
I'm taking Houston minus 15. I'm taking the over 156.5 in the Florida-Auburn game. I'm taking K-State on the money line. I'm taking the Gamecocks plus 11 and the Razorbacks on the money line. If parlayed all together, it would be 48-12. Is that right? Yeah. Looks like that.
Let's make some money asking about any carryovers today. Also, any big races today.
There are big races. Let me check on the carryovers.
While he is checking,
there's nothing of note in the carryovers. The big races are the Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay. I like the 8 Naughty Rascal in that race. And then the Bayakoa at Oaklawn, race 9. Give me the number 2 that's like 10 to 1. Something about Hillary. I believe the name isn't something about Hillary, but there's something about Hillary is the name.
I got one more parlay. I thought I'd theme it up today. This is an all day sweat if you want it.
All day. Give it to me, big dog.
So I'm taking Indiana for my morning play, straight up. I'm taking the Houston Rockets over the Mavs as well for like the early afternoon.
So like real quick, do you think like are Mavs fans gonna like protest?
They might. They just might. They just might.
Like
I would.
And that guy like hired security too.
Yeah, probably should. I'm taking the Seattle Kraken for my early evening. And then for my very late night game, I'm taking Northwestern straight up against Washington.
Isn't Northwestern banged up a little bit?
They are banged up a little bit, but you know what? I wanted a dog. I wanted a dog to end it.
Can I bet? I bet Northwestern -2. It was Tuesday night, I believe. And they were up. What were they? They're up 6, and then they fouled the 3-point shooter for a 4-point play. Then they're up 2, go down, make a basket. The very fucking next play, they did the same exact thing. So in back-to-back trips, they fouled the 3-point shooter, and the kid just nutted the 3-pointer. And they went on to push.
Yeesh. That's rough. Any other thoughts? You guys want to talk like real quickly? Any favorite bets you have for the Super Bowl?
Oof. I do have one that is really just it's a Hail Mary. I'm throwing one downfield with this one, boys. But hear me out. He plays defense. He returns punts, and it's his goddamn birthday on Sunday. It's like 200 to 1 for Cooper DeJean to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. And I kind of just want to put $2 on it, you know?
My Hail Mary Super Bowl MVP is Jalen Carter, 100 to 1.
I like that a lot, actually. That's another one that I really liked.
The interior is just brutal. I got him plus 126 to get a sack, plus 850 to get 2 sacks. The play I really like Juju Smith-Schuster over under 14.5. I like that. Yeah. First half under. I have a lot. I could rattle them all off, but
I'll give you one, just one of my favorites, and that's Jahan Dotson first touchdown. I don't care.
You know who also likes Jahan Dotson? Showtime. Dave Weaver likes.
Oh,
Okay. Mr. Ice Cold Dave Weaver.
Your ice cold was all on the Dotson train on Tuesday night.
Nice.
All right, boys.
I do like Dallas Goedert first touchdown also.
Wait, I'm gonna see that and I'll raise you a Devontae Smith first touchdown.
I bet that too. But Jahan Dotson's plus 7,000 is juicy to me, Eric.
Yeah.
No, I respect that.
All right, folks. We thank you for watching. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time for another episode of Gym Rats. For now, we bid you farewell. Bye-bye, everybody. Mwah.